Welcome back to the Frizzandfrillzz channel, guys. Super excited to have you here. My name's Chloe. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit subscribe. This is where you're going to learn about everything you need to know when it comes to all of the curls. Today, we're going to be talking about finger coiling. Super excited to talk about this. This is one of the things that I used to not do, didn't understand why I wasn't getting as many days out of my curls as I wanted. And now I can get a solid 5 to 7 days. We are on currently day 2, but we are gonna go back to yesterday when I recorded the rest of this video so you guys can see what it looks like as I'm finger coiling. And we are going to go step by step through everything for you so you do not miss a beat, okay? So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe and the bell icon. That way you always stay up on all of my newest tutorials. They'll be coming out about once a week, once every other week. So super excited. Let's get started. Okay, first things first, you have to start with the product, right? Okay, so before you even go into finger curling, you need to make sure that you have enough product in your hair. Now, that's going to depend on whether you have super curly, coily, thick, thin, etc. So one of the things that I actually learned through another curly girl is when your hair is fully saturated, you're going to actually pull on that hair, you're going to twist it and see if you have enough product. What that means is when you twist that hair, when it's fully wet and fully saturated with your curl cream, your deep conditioner, your gel, etc., then when you squeeze that, you should actually be able to see the product like kind of squishing out. Okay, so when you do that, we know that you have enough product in your hair to start the finger coiling process. Okay, so once you've done that, you should always be applying that product when you're upside down. We want to lift the root. We don't want to bring it down. We want to maximize that volume. So from there, once you have all that product in there, we are going to move on to finger coiling. So when you finger coil, we're going to start with our flexi brush. This is one of my favorite brushes because it gets through my curls very easily. And we're going to start right here from the ends and moving up towards the scalp. We don't want to start at the scalp because we want to prevent as much breakage as possible. As you can see, this is running through my curls very easily. No problem with any frizz or any breakage, really hardly at all. Now we'll go through the other side really quick, and then we'll get into the actual meat of finger curling. Let's do it. Number 1, if you feel like you're starting to dry out as you're getting ready to finger curl, make sure to use a little spray bottle like you're seeing here. These are super cheap, maybe like 10, max 15 bucks on Amazon. It is a lifesaver to re-wet your hair while you're styling. They are definitely a must. Okay, so now we got our little crocodile clips. These are going to be used so you can separate your curls while you're working on finger curling. It's really difficult to do it all in one fell swoop. So I like to section it off with the bottom half first, and then I swirl right on top with a crocodile clip. That way it stays out of the way, but also by swirling it, it will actually keep it nice and moist without drying out too much as I'm working on the bottom layer. So again, I'm going to use that same brush that out, always brush out, not down. We want to concentrate on keeping that root out and up, not down, because when that happens, then we create less volume, and we always want to maximize out that volume. Now, from here, we are going to start with finger curling. As you can see, I start right towards the face. I normally like to start by my ears and work my way back. When I'm doing this, you can see these are very small curls. I'm using very little hair in each of these. And each time I'm finger curling, I'm using 1 to 2 fingers, and that's it. Now, you see how I just did there? And that thick, and you can see there are multiple curls in there. That is going to keep any amazing volume from happening if I do too thick of curls. We always want to separate from the beginning, not at the end. I know some people find this to be a lot more work. Personally, yes, at the beginning it is a lot more work, but in reality, you're going to cause less frizz by training it from the beginning this way, and it's what is going to cost you maybe an additional 15-20 minutes on wash day, and you'll get an additional 5 to 7 days out of your curls until you need to wash and style them again. So it is well worth it, in my opinion, to start the right way from the very beginning. Now, we can't forget about those little curls in the back by your neck. Those ones are super important because they tend to get the most unruly, I feel like. They're, for me, super thick, and they tend to get very tangled very easily. So don't forget those ones. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean they're not there. So definitely make sure you finger coil those right on the back of your neck. One thing you'll also notice as I'm going through is that I'm finger coiling 4 to 5 times with each curl. So basically what that means, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right around the curl. That way I'm encouraging the curl, but it's not too much, it's not too little. I find that that is right about the correct number for my length, and my length when it's wet, as you can see, is right kind of mid-chest. Okay, another super important key component to finger curling, and you can say finger curling or coiling, it's the same difference, but it's really important that you're pulling it away from your scalp and not pulling it down back towards your shoulders. That's gonna train the curl as it's drying to make sure that it stays up and nice versus basically drying down, and that is then going to add more volume at your root. Okay, we are officially done with the left side. Before we move on to the next side though, we have to scrunch out any of that extra moisture. We're going to do that with a microfiber towel. I have my Diva towel, which I absolutely adore, but you can also use a cotton t-shirt, an old t-shirt, or any other microfiber towel. Last step before moving on to the next section, you're going to take your favorite gel. I'm going to use one of my lighter hold gels, the Archangel by Diva Curl, and I'm going to scrunch that in so that it holds on to all that hard work we've put in by finger coiling. Keep in mind that you have already used a gel prior to finger curling when you were putting in all your styling products. Now I'm going to go work my way through the other side, and I'll be back here in a second and we'll take you through the top layer. Okay, so now we're going to take that top layer down, and we're actually going to split this into a front and back section. So we're going to split it, I would say, right down the top middle of your scalp, and split that out. It's okay, it's going to be a little bit tingly and gnarly at the moment. So that front section, let's go ahead and pop that right back up with that crocodile clip. And then that back section, we're actually going to take that and section it off right in dead center again, but on the opposite direction. So those sections go kind of perpendicular to each other. And so I twist that around so that it keeps it separate from any of the curls that I've already done and finger coiled. It just makes sure that I don't overdo anything that I've already done. Just keeps everything nice and separate. Not forget those back sections. Those ones are super important because, in my opinion, they tend to get some of the most frizzy from sleeping and laying your head on things. So make sure you concentrate in that area. Just as we did that bottom section, we're also going to go through each section and immediately put in that gel. And then we're also going to scrunch in that towel so that you take out any of the excess water that may still be in there. That's going to help your dry time big time. Next, we're also going to use that water bottle like I told you guys at the beginning of the video. This is a really important part if you're starting to notice you get really dry through this process. We are in the home stretch. We're in the very last section. So in this section, we're going to split it across wherever you would normally part your hair if you part it. I personally like to part it right over my left eye. That's where my normal part is. Sometimes I'll go in the center, but right now I'm going to do over my left eye. So that section that I'm not going to use for a little bit, we're just going to twist that away so that we can use that for later. And then make sure that you are combing through to get out any of those snarls before you actually run through to do your hand curling or your finger curling, I guess I should say. So remember when I told you you should be able to squeeze your curls around and be able to see that product coming out? That's what we want. So just a little reminder, it's really important that you have enough product in there. Otherwise, you're probably not going to get those defined curls like what you want. So love those little curls, those little ones when they turn out perfectly on the first little finger curl. It means it's going to be a good curl day. Y'all, my arms are getting tired. At least I only have to do this once a week. That's the whole point in this, right? Less wash days equals a lot more time to do other things. Woohoo! The last one. We made it. We made it. All right. All right. Okay, so now you're just going to run through that last little bit with your gel, with your Diva towel, etc., whatever you're choosing to use, and then we're going to move on to diffusing. Now, we're not going to go too in-depth in diffusing today. That is another tutorial for another day. So right now, let's go ahead and move on to diffusing. We're going to do that really quick, and I'll show you guys those finished results. I will give you guys one quick tip here though. Make sure that you're flipping from side to side while you're diffusing. That's going to help give your roots more volume while you're drying so they don't all stick down below as they're drying. You get a lot of that when you are air drying, but even when you're air drying, you should be flipping back and forth, just causing a little bit of that disruption. A little frizz is not bad, guys. Okay, so this is the finished product after finger cooling. This is literally, I mean, you guys do see how defined everything is here. This is the product of finger coiling and making sure that you have enough product in your hair when you do so. All right, so follow all the steps that we went through just now and let me know what your thoughts are. When you try it, let me know. Or if you have questions, comment below. I want to know your questions. I'm happy to answer those and go through them with you, okay? So from here, you may be asking yourself, okay, what products do I use, Chloe? Right? What products do I use? So I am including a little freebie on my top favorite styling products. I will have that in the description section below. So do not forget to check that out. That'll actually take you to my blog. It's another area that I live on the internet. And if you guys are not following me on Instagram, definitely go check that out. That is honestly where I live day to day. This I will be here mostly every week, but that is where I am all day, every day. That's where you guys can DM me, ask me questions, etc., etc. So definitely make sure you're following me over there. And if you haven't already, like I said, make sure you subscribe. Go ahead and check that bell icon so you get notifications every single time I post on here. All right, have a great day, guys.